I'm Mick LaSalle, and you are about to see a great movie that nobody has seen in the United States. I mean, this is amazing. This is a movie called The Role of Her Life, or Le Role de Sa Vie. And, you know, I'm a movie critic. You figure I should at least know about these things, but I didn't know about this movie either. And I was going to say, you know how I found out about it? Well, I'll tell you how I found out about it. I found out about it because I got interested in seeing movies with French actresses, because I started getting the feeling that these movies were really good. And so I said, well, I don't know, what are good ones? Well, what won awards? So I got on, I saw what was nominated for a César Award, and then I went to Amazon.fr, Amazon.France, and started buying, and just randomly bought this movie and couldn't believe it, because this movie is one of the best movies of 2004. Now, I don't want to give it too much of a build-up and say how great it is, and then have you expect so much that you don't like it. So I'll shut up about that. But I'll just point out that isn't it amazing that this movie did not make it into American theaters? In fact, this movie didn't make it out of France or Belgium. Oh, my cat is leaving the room. I don't know. It must have been something I said. Now, the film features two amazing actresses, because that is the theme of today's program. It is great actress pairings. And the great actresses here are probably two actresses that you've never heard of, but you'll be glad to meet them in this. Agnes Jaoui, who plays a great movie star in this movie, and Karin Viard, who plays the woman who becomes her assistant and an aspiring writer. The movie is very different from the kind of thing that you would see in an American film. American films have dealt with this subject, which is the subject of stardom and the people surrounding the stars. And of course, most notably in All About Eve. But this movie is so much different than All About Eve, because All About Eve, which is a great movie, conforms to the American pattern, which is really all about finding out what's right and what's wrong, who's good and who's bad. French films aren't interested in that. French films are interested in behavior and the phenomenon of behavior, and why this person does this thing and somebody else does that thing. And they're much more willing to live in the zone of moral ambiguity. And that's what this film really lands in. There's no villain, really. There's no heroine, really. Nobody is innocent, nobody's guilty. Everybody's a little bit of both. And both actresses, when they talked about the film, talked about their person as being, their character as being the nice person, and the other character as being the bad person. One word about the actresses too. When I went to France, when I was doing interviews for this book, the first actress I interviewed was Karin Viard, and Karin Viard is an amazing actress. I mean, she's really like the French Meryl Streep. And I wanted her to talk about this movie, and the first thing she had to say about it was, this movie was a nightmare. And I said, why? And she said, it was a nightmare because of the other actress that I had to work with, which totally I didn't expect. And so she just said that she just had a horrible time working with Agnes Jaoui. And her version of the story is that Jaoui wanted Viard to act towards Jaoui the way that Viard's character in the movie acts towards the great movie star. I interviewed Jaoui about a year later, and Jaoui said that, well, we didn't become friends, but it wasn't so bad. Who knows? I also talked to somebody who knows both of them, and I said, if Agnes Jaoui tells you something and Karin Viard tells you something, and they're both different, who would you believe? And they said, oh, definitely Karin. Believe Karin. So, that's the story. A word about this. Jaoui is also a fantastic director, in addition to being an actress, and she made hugely successful movies. Most notably, a movie called The Taste of Others, which was from the year 2000. And Viard, I hope you get to see her in a movie called Ambitieux, which is playing later on in this festival, because you'll see her versatility. She is nothing like the role. Usually, she's nothing like the way she plays the role here. Anyway, I envy you. You're about to see a fantastic movie, but don't be thinking too much about that, or else you might expect too much. Enjoy The Role of Her Life.